Have you ever truly questioned why certain people seem to manifest success, love, health, or abundance with ease, while others struggle endlessly, despite trying every method, every affirmation, every so-called secret? On the surface, it looks like chance, but underneath, it's not randomness, it's resonance. Those who effortlessly attract what they desire are not lucky, they are aligned. The truth is, most people are not manifesting their lives, they are reacting to them. They speak from a place of lack, of waiting, of hoping. I wish I had more money. I hope love finds me. Someday I'll be happy. And every word they speak becomes a mirror, reflecting back the very state of longing they live in. Neville Goddard said it clearly, your words are not just sounds, they are spiritual commands. They are seeds, and the soil they land in is your subconscious mind. And the subconscious does not analyze. It does not reason. It accepts. It takes your dominant thoughts and feelings and grows them, whether they serve you or destroy you. This is the tragic cycle for most people. They want to change their lives, but they continue to speak from the identity they're trying to escape. They say, I am broke, I am tired, I am unlucky, and yet they pray for abundance, energy, and grace. Do you see the contradiction? They speak from the problem while begging for the solution. And the subconscious listens, not to what you want, but to what you are. What Neville revealed was that the bridge between desire and reality is not effort, it's assumption. You don't wait for the new life to appear. You assume it, you inhabit it, and you do that with two words, I am. But here's where most get it wrong. Saying, I am wealthy, while feeling anxiety only reinforces the lack. Saying, I am loved, while feeling unworthy only deepens the wound. The subconscious is fluent in feeling, not just language. So why do only a few seem to wield this truth successfully? Because they understand that I am is not a mantra, it's an identity shift. It is the inner decision to become now what others wait their whole lives for. When you declare, I am, you are not describing your current conditions, you are creating a new blueprint, a new center of gravity, a new emotional home. And everything in your external world begins to reorganize to match that internal declaration. This is why the beginning of true transformation doesn't happen when your bank account changes, or when a lover shows up, or when your body heals. It happens the moment you say with unwavering conviction, I am, and mean it. But this must be sacred. You cannot whisper these words casually. You must speak them as though your soul is listening. Because it is. And the world, it will respond, not to what you want, but to who you are being. So ask yourself, who have you been saying, I am to today? And is that the version of you who deserves the life you're dreaming of? The words, I am, may sound ordinary to the mind, but to the soul, they are sacred. They are not simply a statement. They are creation in motion. Neville Goddard taught that every time you say, I am, you are not just describing your life. You are defining the reality your subconscious mind must obey. These two words form the foundation of your identity, and identity is the seed from which all manifestations grow. Think about it. Everything you believe about yourself begins with I am. I am tired. I am not good enough. I am always struggling. These are not just passing phrases. They are spiritual affirmations that instruct your subconscious to maintain those very states. And because your subconscious mind has no sense of humor, no filter, and no judgment, it accepts them as law. It does not care if you're joking, doubting, or complaining. It simply hears the command and begins to construct your life accordingly. This is why Neville warned, be careful what follows I am, for it shall surely follow you. Your outer world is nothing more than the echo of your inner declarations. Whatever you consistently affirm, especially when it is wrapped in emotion and belief, becomes the framework for your experiences. The universe does not respond to wishful thinking, it responds to the vibration of conviction. But here's what makes I am truly powerful. It speaks not to the future, but to the present reality. Most people frame their desires in the future. I will be wealthy. I hope to find love. Someday I'll be free. But all of that implies distance. It confirms that what you want is not yet here, and that distance becomes your repeated state of being. The subconscious does not act on the future. It only acts on the now. Neville Goddard emphasized that you must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not merely imagine it, become it. When you say, I am abundant, it must be said as a man who is already living in abundance. When you say, I am healed, it must be said with the peace and confidence of someone who already possesses perfect health. This is not about pretending. It's about shifting into the state of being where your desire already exists. And this is why I am is so sacred, so personal, and so powerful. It is a mirror, reflecting not what the world thinks you are, but what you believe yourself to be. And if you dare to believe in something greater, something beautiful, something divine, the universe will conspire to prove you right. Neville didn't give us a tool. He gave us a doorway. And the words, I am, are the key. But it's not enough to say them. You must feel them. You must speak them not as an affirmation you hope will work, but as a truth you no longer question. And perhaps the most important part, you must keep it sacred. This is why Neville advised not to share your declarations carelessly. When you speak your intentions to others, you open the door for doubt, for interference, for the subtle erosion of your faith. This is a path walked in silence and power. Speak your I am in solitude, in reverence, and in unwavering belief. And when you do, watch how the invisible starts to take form. Not because you forced it, but because you finally allowed yourself to become it. Most people who hear the words, I am, make the mistake of thinking it's just about repetition. They believe that if they say, I am rich enough times, or I am healthy, the universe will eventually get the message. But Neville Goddard made it crystal clear, words without feeling are powerless. The subconscious mind, which is the creative force behind your reality, doesn't respond to language alone. It responds to emotion, to conviction, to the vibrational signature behind the words. This is why so many people claim the phrase doesn't work. They say, I am abundant, but inside, they feel anxious about money. They say, I am loved, but their heart is still aching with loneliness. And so their reality reflects the feeling, not the phrase. Neville said, feeling is the secret. It's not just about speaking the new identity, it's about embodying it, living from it, believing it so deeply that the outer world has no choice but to conform. You cannot lie to your subconscious. You can't speak the language of abundance while emotionally rehearsing lack. You can't declare love while vibrating in fear and rejection. Your I am must be more than words. It must be the emotional state you dwell in. Every time you affirm a new identity, you must ask yourself, do I feel the truth of this? Am I aligned emotionally with what I'm declaring? Because if you're not, your mind remains divided, and a divided mind cannot create a unified outcome. Neville Goddard explained that the imagination is the doorway to the subconscious. When you combine the statement, I am, with vivid imagery and powerful emotion, you bypass the critical, doubting mind and plant a seed directly in the soil of creation. But this seed will only grow if it is watered with feeling. Without it, your words remain hollow. This is why stillness is so important. Neville often instructed his students to enter a state akin to sleep, a deeply relaxed, trance-like condition where the conscious mind is quiet and the subconscious becomes receptive. In that sacred space, you speak your I am with feeling. You imagine yourself already living the reality you desire. You feel the freedom, the peace, the joy, as if it were happening now. And in that moment, something profound occurs. You are no longer just affirming change, you are becoming it. But again, this must be done with sacred intent. Too many people rush through this process, checking boxes on a manifestation list, hoping to manipulate reality without ever truly transforming themselves. Neville didn't teach tricks, he taught truth. And the truth is, you must die to the old version of yourself to give birth to the new one. You cannot say, I am free, while secretly clinging to the identity of the prisoner. So ask yourself, when you say, I am, who are you really speaking as? The one who is still hoping, doubting, waiting? Or the one who has already arrived? Because until you choose the latter, until you feel it as done, your reality will remain a reflection of the old self. The self you say you've left behind, but still emotionally return to day after day. The power of I am is not in the phrase, it's in the person who dares to mean it. There's a reason Neville Goddard warned his students, do not speak your desires aloud to others. Not because there is shame in wanting, but because desire, especially in its early stages, is delicate, sacred, and the moment you expose it to the outside world, you risk contaminating it with doubt, skepticism, and energy that does not belong to you. Manifestation is not a group project. It is an inner covenant between you and the divine within. You see, when you declare, I am, you are entering into a sacred agreement with your subconscious. You are rewriting your identity, reshaping your future. But if you speak that declaration to someone who doesn't believe, who doesn't understand, or who unconsciously fears your growth, they may not challenge you with words, but their energy will. And energy is always speaking. Neville understood that the greatest spiritual work happens in silence. Not secrecy born from fear, but silence born from power. When you hold your I am within you like a seed in fertile soil, undisturbed, untouched by external voices, it grows. Quietly, invisibly, until one day it breaks through the surface, and the world calls it a miracle. But to you, it was inevitable. This is why Neville spoke often about living in the end. He didn't mean talking about your desires or convincing others of your vision. He meant feeling it as already done. He meant going about your day not as someone waiting for change, but as someone who is already transformed. That shift must occur within you first, and for that you need stillness, mental, emotional, energetic stillness. When you share your intentions too soon, you invite fragmentation. One comment, one raised eyebrow, one well-meaning friend questioning your vision, and suddenly the seed is uprooted. Not because they took it from you, but because you handed it over before its roots were deep. This is why your I am must be your secret sanctuary, a place you return to in the quiet hours, a state of being you rehearse in private until it becomes your dominant reality. And here's the deeper truth Neville hinted at, though few were ready to hear it. No one else needs to believe in your vision, because no one else is creating your world. Your consciousness alone is the projector. What you accept as true within yourself is what the world must reflect. Not because it's fair or logical, but because that is the law of consciousness. So when you say, I am successful, and no one sees your success yet, good. Let it stay hidden. Let your success take root in silence. When you say, I am loved, and no one is there yet to affirm it, good. Let love grow in your heart first, so that when it arrives, it's a match, not a fix. This sacred silence is not weakness, it is alignment. It is your ability to stand in the vibration of your truth, even when no one else can see what you see. Neville called this persistence in assumption. It is the quiet confidence of the mystic who knows. My reality is shaped not by what I explain, but by what I embody. So keep your I am private, not because you're hiding it, but because you're protecting the divine spark. Speak it inwardly, feel it fully, and let the world catch up later. By the time they notice, your inner reality will already have taken physical form. When you say, I am, you are not making a wish, you are making a decree. You are not hoping for change, you are claiming a new reality as if it already exists. Neville Goddard taught that this act is not symbolic, but literal. You are impressing upon your subconscious a new identity, and from that identity, your entire external world begins to reconfigure itself. This is not philosophy, it is law. The law of assumption, as Neville described, states that what you assume to be true, regardless of evidence, must eventually harden into fact. The world around you, despite its apparent objectivity, is a fluid reflection of your internal state. When you say, I am, you are not describing what you see, you are declaring what must be seen. But here is the most profound truth. You are not waiting for your manifestation to come. You are waiting for yourself to catch up to the version of you who already lives there. The future you want is already alive in imagination. The only gap is the one you create by continuing to identify with your old self. Neville emphasized that imagination is the only reality. That what you see with the eyes of spirit, the inner eye, is more powerful, more foundational than what you see with the senses. When you consistently declare, I am, and back it with feeling, you are stepping into a version of yourself that already holds the thing you desire. And because the subconscious accepts your dominant state as law, it will compel the outer world to obey. This is why your daily self-talk is the most important conversation you will ever have. Every I am you repeat becomes a brick in the house you live in tomorrow. Every feeling you attach to those words becomes the paint, the air, the light. If you don't like your current surroundings, you don't need to fight the walls. You only need to speak a new blueprint from within. It's not enough to say, I am once or twice. You must say it until it no longer feels like a lie. Until it becomes your new emotional home. Until you wake up and the old identity no longer fits. That's when you'll know the shift is complete, because you'll feel like a stranger to the version of you that used to beg, doubt, or delay. Neville Goddard taught that the moment you fully identify with the desired state and live from it, not toward it, the bridge of incidents will unfold. You will not need to force events. You will not need to figure out how. Reality will organize itself through people, opportunities, and circumstances to mirror your new state of being. But only when you've stopped chasing and started embodying. And so, you must ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Permission? Evidence? Approval? All of that is irrelevant in the world of consciousness. The only thing that matters is your decision to declare fully and finally, I am. Because once you do, once you feel it, claim it, become it, the manifestation is no longer in question. It is done, and the world will soon catch up with the truth you dared to live. As Neville once said, to be transformed, the whole basis of your thoughts must change. But your thoughts cannot change unless you have new ideas, for you think from your ideas. Your I am is your new idea, your new root, and everything from this moment forward will grow from it. Speak it with clarity, feel it with faith, and live it in silence until the unseen becomes seen.